We're live, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong thing there. We are live and I didn't notice. Hi, good evening. How are you this evening? I hope you're doing okay. I am absolutely freezing here in Scotland. I've got my cardigan on as well as my shirt. The dogs are in the room with me, so they might be barking. My hands are freezing. I'm going to tuck them into my cardigan while I speak to you tonight. And yeah, it's a bad hair day. It's very windy up here as well. So I've been out on a dog walk and just given up on trying to make the hair look nice. So anyway, I hope you're okay. I hope your day is a little bit warmer than mine, wherever you are in the country. And I've just spoken to Lou, my friend down in Norfolk, who said it's going to be 16 degrees down there. So I'm very envious. But I didn't move to Scotland for the climate. I knew exactly what I was moving to, so I can't complain. Anyway, hi, for those of you that are joining. I am Mandy Nicholson. I am the Creative Genius Consultant. I'm an artist, an author, and I help creative women to launch, grow, and scale their business and make more money. And tonight, I am going to be talking to you about something that's really important: loving yourself truly, madly, deeply, and what a difference it makes when you do. So why did I want to speak to you about this tonight? Probably because it's linked to my journey over the last, well, I say 12 months, but probably over my lifetime, because we all have a journey, don't we? We've all been on a journey of discovery. And one of the people that I worked with along that journey was Bob Proctor. And Bob, for those of you that don't know him, was a brilliant coach. And he talked a lot about how important self-love was for you to be able to achieve the things that you want to in your life and in your business. Because if you don't love yourself truly, madly, deeply, and believe in yourself, believe that you can, that you are good enough, that you have all the skills and all the resources at your fingertips already, then you're setting yourself up to fail. And that was a big part of the training with Bob. And it was a huge period of growth in my life. So, when I hit rock bottom 12 years ago, I didn't like myself very much. I'd let myself down, and there was a lot of self-blame going on then of the decisions that I'd made that had caused me to be in that place. I was blaming others, but then I wasn't, because it was me that made the decisions. And I had to learn a lot at that point in time, mainly forgiveness and accepting responsibility. And if you don't really love yourself, and I don't mean this in a self-centered kind of way, please don't take me wrong. I mean, you really deserve to love yourself ultimately above all others and put yourself first, so that you can look after and serve others better when you look after yourself the best and when you love yourself the best. So that's why I wanted to talk to you about this tonight. Some people just really struggle. We talk about self-care a lot. I hear about self-care and self-love a lot on social media, but not in the way that I want to talk to you about it tonight, because I want you to be able to look in the mirror and know that the person looking back at you is an amazing person with lots of skills, with the ability to do anything. So let's just look at the last year, shall we? It's 2 years, it's coming up for 2 years in April since I lost my husband, Gary, which was devastating for me. But what Gary had done while we were together was to help me really care about myself and understand that my gifts were important to this world. And when you can actually get to that place of confidence, self-belief, self-love, you can do things that you never thought you were capable of. And that is the main reason that I am now two and a bit weeks away from accepting my first guests in my mini castle. Because this time last year, guys, I talked about this in my group this morning. This time last year, this house that I've almost finished renovating now wasn't even an idea. I didn't know it existed. It wasn't an idea 12 months ago. I hadn't made the decision to follow my dream fully and moved to Scotland at that point. I hadn't put my house on the market. I wasn't even looking at properties. So 12 months ago, this didn't even exist in my head. And 12 months down the line, I have not only followed my dreams fully and wholeheartedly. I am in Scotland. I have got my little mini version of the castle that was on my vision board, the very castle that was on my vision board. And I have spent an absolute fortune renovating it. It's not been an easy journey. But what I will say is where the journey has been difficult and I've had to compromise, it was the self-belief and self-love that kept me going towards my dreams, towards my vision, towards my goals, and didn't hold me back. There was no questioning in my ability. There was no questioning my skills. There were days where I felt low. There were days where I've had to deal with major catastrophes. I've been managing a huge team of contractors who are on a completely different miles per hour than I am, who, live a different lifestyle than I do, have different priorities than I do. So had I not had that self-belief and self-confidence that I could step up to the mark and deal with any problem that came along and deal with it fully, and have enough people around me in my network that I could tap into and ask advice from and keep me sane, then I would not be here 2.5 weeks from my first visitors arriving at this house. So if we wind the clock back 12 years, think about the last 12 years of your life. 12 years ago, I was at rock bottom. I was bankrupt. I had lost my 13-year marriage. My husband had had an affair, left me, and abandoned his kids. I had been made redundant from my job. My career, my 25-year-long career where I was a senior leader, that was a huge personality rob from me. I had lost my dad. He died. I'd been made homeless. I was living in a council house. I'd been stripped of all the identities that I thought I had. So what became really important to me was learning to believe in myself again and learning to love myself again as this new person that had ended up at this place of rock bottom. So 12 years ago, I could have taken on any persona. It was really vital that I learned these skills then to love myself. So over the last 12 years, there's been lots of things happened in my life. I've done, a degree in psychology, several coaching qualifications. I've read numerous books. I have educated myself in financial services. I've worked in financial services. I've worked in cleaning. I've worked in wills and estate planning. There's been a huge amount happened that I've packed into the last 12 years. And I've done it because I believed that I could do anything. So what I want tonight is for you to leave this live thinking that you can do anything that you put your mind to. So think about for one moment the persona here. I was originally I was going to be an artist. I went to art college, got a degree. Yeah. I then was a retail leader for decades. I was then redundant, bankrupt at rock bottom. I was then a cleaner. I was then a financial services advisor. I was then a wills and estate planning advisor. And now I am an entrepreneur, creative business owner who helps other women. It's possible for you to be anything. And that's just in the last 12 years. It's possible for you to change how people see you, what you do, how you show up in the world, what you achieve in the world, and how you drive your business forward, because we can reinvent ourselves at any moment. If I decided today that I wanted to do something different tomorrow, I could do that, and you wouldn't remember in 6 months' time what I'm doing now. I could reinvent myself and you wouldn't remember, because many of you have been on my network for a few years and you won't remember me as a wills and estate planner 2.5 years ago. You've probably forgotten all about that because you've accepted this new persona that I've created. And I've created this because I believe in myself. I really genuinely care about myself and others around me. Therefore, I believe I can. And that's what I want you to have. When you're thinking about yourself, I want you to believe you can, wherever your business is now, wherever you want to take it. Yeah, you can do anything. You can brand, you can rebrand, you can change, you can tweak, you can morph it into something that is completely different than it is today. If I can go from wills and estate planning to being a creative genius consultant in a matter of 2.5 years, you can do anything with your business. So that's why I wanted to jump on and talk to you about how important it was to love yourself truly, madly, deeply, because it makes such exponential difference in your life. So this morning I sat and I had coffee at my bedroom window, at my window seat that I've created, because that was something that I did for me, because it was important to me. And that's why I did the live from that place this morning. When I saw that bedroom, it wasn't the biggest bedroom in the house. In actual fact, it's the smallest of all the double bedrooms in the house. And I decided that was mine because I wanted to be able to sit at the window and look at my garden. And I've created that space so that I can do that. It's taken me a while to get to it, but over the weekend, I created that space because I love myself enough to give myself the things that bring me joy. And because I can sit there and feel joyous, then I can create new ideas, I can think, I can nurture myself. And that's important in our lives. Ask yourself this question. When was the last time I did something for myself to make myself feel joyous for no other reason than I deserve it? I know it's a long question, but ask yourself that question, because that is the thing that makes the difference. I'm sorry if this is a bit glitchy tonight. I don't know whether it's cutting out or not. I'm sorry if it is. Technology. It's really cold and rainy in Scotland, so who knows? Sorry if it's doing that. I hope you can stick with me. It'll probably play right the way through on YouTube, so yeah, watch for the links coming up on YouTube. So I want you to think about you as the priority in your life. When I met Gary, I said to him, you are welcome to join my family, but understand that the priority is this. I'm at the top. I'm the most important, because if I don't look after myself and don't care for myself, I can't care for my kids, my dogs, or you. That's the running order, and that's important. And I can't, it's the same in my business. I have to look after me first at the top, making sure that I take time out when I need it, that I take self-care when I need it, that I create these little things that bring me joy so that I can really focus on my business when I am working on it. So that's why I wanted to share tonight, because I think it's important sometimes that we stop and we reflect. Stop and reflect and ask where you are. I have been doing a lot of copy, writing a lot of copy this week for my new book launch. My book is relaunching on the 28th of February with its new cover, with my art on the cover, fully re-edited and ready to go out to the world again in hardback, paperback, Kindle, and audiobook to come later. Which I'm really proud of. It's going into all the major bookstores, libraries, etc., universities, and online on Amazon. I'm really, really proud of that book and the ability I had to tell that story, because in that story, I share all the worst things that happened to me in my entire life and how much meaning they had. So I've put the new link for the new book in the comments above this. You can only pre-order it. I've taken the other book off Amazon. So the self-published version is no longer available. You can only buy the brand new one. And it's book 1 of 3. What's really important is I invested in a session for myself for self-love on Friday with Stella Tudor. And it took me to a place of real high thinking. And what became evident to me is how important my writing is to me. And book 2 is about 40% finished, and I need to really get on the back of that and finish that off because people are waiting for the second book. But please buy, if you've not read it, buy the first book, have a read. It will make a difference. It's an inspirational story that will give you hope and motivate you. So tonight is all about that. It's about loving yourself. It's about caring for yourself. It's about motivating yourself, inspiring yourself, and keeping yourself going. And I share this from a place of knowing, from a place of loss, grief, rebuilding my life, so that I can show up in the world and tell you that anything is possible. Last year, I did not have this house. Now I have this house. I'm launching it. And over the next week or so, you are going to be seeing pictures of my guest rooms finished, of the beautiful things that I've bought for the rooms, the care and attention I've put into creating something special here. And that comes from a place of self-love as well. So probably next Tuesday night. So, if you're watching tonight and you're thinking what she's talking about, well, read the story. There's a whole story there. I'll be back next Tuesday night, and probably next Tuesday night, I'll be sharing with you what's going on at the Art Bank, which is the name of the business, how we're getting on, because I'll literally be a week and a half away from my first guests arriving. There's been a lot of work happening behind the scenes that nobody has seen in my coaching business and in my bricks and mortar business. But be assured, I am looking after myself and sitting on my little window seat drinking coffee as often as I can. I want you to find that little space that brings you that much joy. And if you haven't got it, I want you to make it this week and tell me about it, please. So on the comments, make a comment. Say whether you've watched on replay or whether you've watched live, and join me next Tuesday night at 7 o'clock, where I will be sharing the biggest update so far on what's happening right here in real life. I will see you all then. Have a wonderful week. It's a joy always to speak to you. And I don't always want to show up and do training or value. I just wanted to share tonight a little bit of a story with you. So go and enjoy the rest of your night. Go and look after yourself really, really well. And I will see you in 1 week's time. Same place, same time. Bye.